How's everybody doing today? It's Joe here, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a deck analysis of Archie's Omastar and Aerodactyl in the standard format. Now, I know most lists for this operate in the expanded format, and that makes a ton of sense, because getting an Archie in expanded is a hell of a lot easier than it is in standard. When you have things like Xerosic, computer search, execute, it becomes so much easier. Whereas in standard, that's a lot more difficult, because we don't have those things. But I decided I'd try and make it work, and I think I've got a list together that can get a turn 1 Archie extremely consistently. Now, a few things first. This list is hideous. I am completely aware of this. Please do not click off the video and think I'm a bad player because I'm running some maintenance or something. I swear, I have my reasons for everything here. But also, I'm probably going to go into quite a bit of explanation about the deck, because I think it requires a bit of explaining. So if you want to skip that, I'm going to have an annotation on screen, and so you can just go ahead and skip straight to the game, because I know some people just like skipping these parts, and this is probably going to be a bit long. But I do feel like I do highly encourage you to sit through this and listen to me sort of explain why I've put certain things here, because it is a really wacky list, and I think it requires a bit of background to know exactly why everything's here. But anyway, quick overview of the deck for those of you who don't know what it does. First of all, our main attacker is going to be Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl's great. It's got 120 HP. That's pretty high. For a Double Colourless, it uses Jet Draft for 120 and discards a special energy. That's really good. It's got free retreat. That's really good. But it's a restored Pokemon. That's terrible. And which means we can only get it into play with fossils, and it really limits the decks you can put Aerodactyl in. But thankfully, we have a great partner for it in Omastar. So Omastar's Restoring Beam basically lets us, once per turn, search our deck for an Aerodactyl and just put it straight on the bench. So that's fantastic. Omastar itself is a fossil Pokemon, but it's also a water type. So that means we can use Archie's Ace in the Hole to get it into play and make things an awful lot easier. Now, the issue with this Archie engine, and the reason we don't see many Archie engines in Standard, is obviously because it's super inconsistent. You know, Yveltal can get away with it with Gallade, but that's more of a complementary thing to the deck. You know, it's not like if you don't get the Gallade, you're going to lose. You still have Yveltal and Zoroark and all that stuff to attack with. With this deck, if you don't get the Archie, you definitely lose, because that's how you get your attackers out. So it becomes very important that we get the Archie on turn 1. Turn 2 if you absolutely have to, but turn 1 is super important. So yeah, and that's why the list looks as weird as it does. Anyway, we're also for Pokemon, we're running one Omastar BREAK, and one of the reasons this deck is so good is because of this amazing ability, Dangerous Tentacle. Basically, once per turn, we get to take one of our opponent's EX Pokemon, put it in the active spot. And hey, look, Shaymin has 110 HP, Aerodactyl's Jet Draft does 120 damage, so go figure. We knock out Shaymin super easily with this deck. I think arguably better than any other deck, and I include Night March in that list, and because it means you don't have to Lysandre up the Shaymin. You can still play Sycamore in the same turn, which gives you such a much better chance of hitting things like Energy and Target Whistle and Time Puzzles that you need to pull off the combo. You know, being able to Lysandre completely for free is just amazing. Honestly, this ability is ridiculous. I only run one break though, and the reason for that is, and I'm going to be sort of going on about this quite a bit, but it's not an insta-play card. And what I mean by that is a card we can just drop from our hand. Like Red Card, for example. That's not a red card, but this is also an insta-play card. Basically, a card we can just drop from our hand to lower our hand size by 1. You know, we want a lot of cards that do that in order to get the Archie off. And having Omastar breaks in your hand, they just kind of stick there, and we can't really get rid of them, and it makes it much harder to get the Archie. So we want to minimize the amount of cards in our deck like that. Aerodactyl himself gets stuck in our hand pretty often. You know, if we see him in the opening hand, we do need to find a way to discard him or shuffle him back into the deck. But so that makes the Archie NG just that much more difficult. But nevertheless, we can still get it working. So that's why there's only one break. In Expanded, yeah, you can get away with 2, no problem. Also for Pokemon, we are running 4 copies of Hawlucha. Everyone loves this guy. Free Retreat, also. But the Flying Press, Free Retreat's great, because it means he's our ideal starter. So if we start with him, we can just free retreat straight into one of the Aerodactyls we get out, and we can start using Jet Draft, and that's fantastic. But Flying Press also complements Jet Draft really well, because Jet Draft does 120 damage, and Flying Press does 60 damage. And 120 plus 60 is 180, so now we're knocking out the majority of Pokemon EX in the format, everything except Zygarde and Megas and Wailord. So yeah, I think so the two attacks really complement each other, and they feel like supernatural partners. I think a lot of people have been using Hawlucha with Aerodactyl, and it makes a ton of sense. I'm maxing him out because, again, he's an insta-play card. If we have him in our hand, we can just drop him on the bench. And he's the ideal starter for the deck. You know, I'm always happy to see Hawlucha starting. We also run 3 copies of Unown. Unown's a really nice card for the Archie engine. We can drop it from the hand. If we need more cards, we can Farewell Letter for it. It combos really well with Single Puzzle of Time, as well as Reserve Ticket, which I'll get onto in a bit. Unown's got a couple of tricks that it can do. The other really cool thing is Hidden Power for 10. You can actually use this, and I'm not crazy. Baby Yveltal has 130 HP. Jet Draft does 120. You can do the remaining 10 with Hidden Power. And there's actually a couple of... See, Jet Draft does miss some knockouts, so you do sometimes need to follow it up with other attackers. And at some point, this is going to come up. So it's always worth remembering that that exists. So yeah, Unown is a very worthy addition to the deck, I feel. And finally, we have 2 Shaymin EX. You might be wondering why we're not running more than 2. I think 2 is fine. Every time I get the Archie out, I sometimes use 0. 1 if I use any at all. I never use more than 2. But Shaymin's pretty nice for a few other reasons other than just drawing cards. First of all, if we have it on our bench, you know, having Double Colourless in our opening hand is really annoying. And we need to put that somewhere. Like, you know, discarding it really hurts us because, you know, we've only got access to 4 of them. Shuffling it back in with maintenance is an option, but that's not always great. But if we have a Shaymin on the bench, we can just attach it to that and Sky Return then at the end of the turn so that we preserve the Double Colourless while still lowering our hand size. And also, just for following up Jet Draft, Sky Return is very nice. Especially in the Night March matchup, Joltik is a really big problem for this deck because it hits everything for weakness except like Unown and Omastars obviously, but and that basically means that the Night March player doesn't need to dig as much. And if they're not digging, they're not benching Shaymins, and that can be super annoying. So we need ways of killing Joltiks without committing Double Colourless energy ourselves, and Sky Return's a fantastic way of doing that. In that matchup also, we can use Aerodactyl's first attack with a basic energy, Bite, will knock out a Joltik, and that's very relevant in the Night March matchup. So that's the Pokemon. It's pretty straightforward. Actually, why did I say that? That's not straightforward at all. But yeah, that's the Pokemon line. I think I'm happy with it. I don't think there's anything else I'd add to it. On to the supporters, because there's only 6 of them, so I'll cover them first. 2 Archie, cool. 2 Sycamore. Seems low. Honestly, you could cut it to 1 if Espequin, Vileplume, and Trevenant weren't a thing. But yeah, I think 2 is the fine count for that. 1 Lysandre, and it might seem really weird that I'm running this instead of a second break, but I think running 1 break and running 1 Lysandre is the way to go. So this way we can Lysandre up things that aren't EX Pokemon, if we want to kill those. It means that if we get Hex Maniac, we can still pull off a Lysandre. And also, it actually helps us get around Promo Jirachi a bit. So if our opponent uses Stardust, we can use Omastar Break to push an EX Pokemon in the active, and then Lysandre the Jirachi back up, and then the effect will have ended because it went to the bench, and we can still kill it with Aerodactyl in the same turn. So I think that's a really nice play that you can make with the deck. And I can't... Come on, scroll. You know what, I'll leave it like that. You can see all the numbers fine. Anyway, so I think Lysandre is definitely worth the space. Finally, for supporters, just the 1 Xerosic. The big reason this is here is for fighting Fury Belt. That card can really screw up our math, and we need a way around it, I think. It's essential that we have a way around Fury Belt. Xerosic is the best option, I think. You can say Megaphone too, but Megaphone, if you want to reuse it, you will have to time puzzle for it. And actually in this deck, our VS Seekers are kind of dead after turn 1, which is really weird to say, but yeah, usually you'll play VS Seeker for Archie turn 1, and then you'll have 3 left. And you don't necessarily need to play them all the time, and there's not a whole lot of targets for them after you've Archied. So Xerosic is nice at sort of filling that void. And yeah, I think it's a really good card in the deck. I think I still like it over Megaphone. It does suck that I have to run it because, of course, I can't just play it from my hand then Archie. But I think we definitely need an answer to Fury Belt or else we'd be kind of screwed. So anyway, that's it for supporters. It's super low, I know. But, you know, we have to maximize the item count if we want the Archie engine to be good. Onto the items themselves. 4 Battle Compressor, 4 Trainer's Mail, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 VS Seeker. All that stuff, you all know that. The weirder stuff, though, yeah, two copies of Maintenance. The reason I'm running 2 copies of Maintenance is because I can't run 6 copies of Ultra Ball. Maintenance is not a good card at all, I swear. And I wish I could cut it. I did try cutting it, and my Archie consistency actually went down. So, hey, 2 Maintenance. There you go. Run it in the deck. This is cool for a few reasons. It lowers our hand size by 1. There you go. That's productive. That's what we want. But also, it shuffles Aerodactyls and Double Colourless energy back in. Things we don't necessarily want to be discarding with Ultra Ball, we can preserve for later on in the game. Also, if you don't have any Aerodactyl in your deck, but you do in your hand, which does happen sometimes, you can't use Omastar's ability for it because it only searches the deck. So you can use Maintenance to actually shuffle the Aerodactyl back in the deck, and then use Omastar to get it into play. It does serve a couple of cool purposes. Actually, funnily enough, the worst thing about Maintenance is that you draw a card afterwards. I hate this. I wish it was just shuffle 2 cards into your deck. Because I'm always worried that the card I draw is going to be like a supporter, and then it'll ruin my Archie play for the turn. If it was just shuffle 2 in, I would actually run probably 3 or 4 of them. But the fact that you draw a card really makes it worse, hilariously enough. 4 puzzle at a time. The deck can absolutely get away with puzzle at a time. Even the first effect is really good in combination with Unown and Acro Bike and stuff like that. Playing 2 cards at once allows us to play a lot like Night March in the sense that we can get back our resources really easily. You know, double puzzling is very viable with this deck, and it helps out the Archie engine a lot. It helps out in the late game as well. Stuff like that. I think it's a no-brainer to include the puzzles. And even if we do just need to play 1 down to lower our hand, we can as well. It's a perfect card for the deck. 1 red card. Yeah, 1 red card. There's a few things this slot can be, and I'll go into this in a second. But at the moment, I'm running red card. First of all, insta-play, drop it straight from the hand. Cool. But what red card does is it makes your opponent shuffle their hand into their deck and draw 4 cards. And essentially, that limits what they can do. It limits their options, and when their options are limited, they're more likely to play Shaymin. So that's what the red card's main purpose is I want my opponent to play Shaymin so that I have a big target on their bench that I can kill. And red card is pretty helpful at forcing my opponent to do that. I think it's a really nice one-off in the deck. There's a few other things you can put in here instead though, and I'll go into that in a second. 2, my favorite card in the deck probably, 2 Reserve Ticket. I love this thing. Okay, it's mini computer search, it's mini teammates, it's so good. Flip a coin, if heads, search your deck for a card, put it on top of your deck. This is fantastic, especially in combination with Unown, Trainer's Mail, Acro Bike, Shaymin. We have so many cards that draw off the top of the deck that being able to control exactly what we get is perfect. You can even do weird things like Reserve Ticket for an Omastar, then Acro Bike so you know you get rid of it. There's some really cool plays you can make with Reserve Ticket, and I would not take it out at all. You could argue you could go up in copies. I wouldn't do that because it doesn't actively draw you any cards, and you still need a good balance between cards that lower your hand size and cards that increase your hand size. But I think it's an absolutely essential thing in the list, especially in Standard. A very underrated card, and I think anyone who's making this deck really should be throwing a few of these guys in. So yeah, what else are we running? 1 Super Rod. We definitely need some form of Pokemon recovery, especially because we'll be discarding Aerodactyls or like turn 1 with Ultra Ball. Most likely, because if we draw into them, the best way to get them out of our hand is just Ultra Ball them away. And Super Rod can get them back for later. I think Super Rod makes more sense than Sacred Ash because we get to put our energy back in. I never find myself needing 5 Pokemon with Sacred Ash, so Super Rod just seems like the more ideal option. 1 Target Whistle. This is a super key player in the deck. Target Whistle's great because it allows us to continue just killing Shaymins over and over again. We can access it all the time with double puzzle at a time. It combos super well with not Aerodactyl, Omastar's ability. Yeah, it's a very important card, and in much the same way that Night March uses it, this is why we use it. So, 2 Acro Bike, and you could argue to go up on the Acro Bike as well. I like 2. I think I tried cutting a few things and adding Acro Bike, but my consistency wasn't actually going up, and a lot of the times that I missed the Archie was because I Acro Biked into 2 bad cards. And in those situations, I would have rather just had a card that I could just play down from my hand, like Red Card or like Battle Compressor, just for example. So yeah, Acro Bike is cool, and you do definitely need it in the deck. And like I said, it combos with things like Reserve Ticket and Single Puzzle of the Time. But it's not a great draw card. It is just a digging card. But sometimes that's all you need to give you a little bit of a boost. So that is actually all the items. 1 Floatstone. It's the only tool in the deck. Again, insta-play. Cool. Sometimes you will do weird stuff like a Floatstone or Hawlucha just so you can get the Archie, but that's fine. It's not a super important card in the deck. Ideally, you want it to go on the Omastar, but that's not always possible. It's nice because it gives you something free retreat in the active spot. It's a card you can just play straight down. You could also cut it for an escape rope if you really wanted to, and that's something I might try myself. And the stadium is going to be 1 copy of Skyfield. Again, as I've said about a million times in this video, insta-play card. If you have it in your hand, you can just drop it straight down. That's cool. You don't want more than 1 stadium, though, because then if you draw into the second one, you can't play it. But Skyfield is my stadium of choice, and the reason for this is if you're playing against an opponent who's sort of half-decent, the way that they will try and counter your plays is just by filling their bench with things that aren't Shaymin. And now, if all of a sudden we can't use Target Whistle to bring Shaymin back, well, we can play Skyfield and increase their bench size so that now our Target Whistle is back online again, and then we can, still bring the Shaymin up with Omastar, and we can keep going with what we want to do. It also kind of works out as well, because you can time puzzle for it, so just running the 1 copy is perfectly fine. Other stadiums, you could run Scorched Earth. I tried this. It's fine, and if you ran it over Skyfield, I can definitely see that, but Skyfield is definitely my personal pick. Alright, on to energy. It's just 4 Double Colourless and 3 fighting. I think this is the bare minimum you can get away with. Yeah, I think it's a really solid deck, actually. It's super fast, like really ridiculously fast. It's got some pretty cool matchups too. Night March, like I said, you definitely have an alright time against that thing. Turbo Toad is seeing a lot of play right now. You absolutely destroy that thing because Shaymin isn't the only thing that Omastar can bring up. You can bring up Manaphies and you can kill them in 1 hit too. Of course, they've got Fury Belts, but that's why there's Xerosic there. Yeah, I think I really like this thing's Turbo Toad matchup. And it's not even like that's an optional thing for them. They're forced to play it. So you should be fine if you get the breakup. And even if you don't, you've still got Lysandre and things like that. What else? The bad matchups, you'd be thinking like Vespiquen Vileplume. If you go first, you can definitely do it. You want to go first, you get your Omastar out, and then all of a sudden, the Vespiquen Vileplume player is going to have Shaymins on the board for you to target if they want to set up themselves. So already you've got your outs. So I think if you go first, you shouldn't have too bad of a time. I've been debating cutting 1 Professor Sycamore, but in matchups like Vespiquen Vileplume and Trevenant, I think you absolutely need the 2 to continue drawing through your deck under the item lock. And Superior, the only Superior, why did I mention Superior? I meant Sceptile. The only 2 matchups you definitely don't win are Greninja and Sceptile, and I don't think there's anything you can do to sort of counter that. I thought about adding in Muscle Band so I can kill a Greninja with Jet Draft in 1 hit, but it doesn't really matter because they're going to Break Evolve anyway. Yeah, Greninja's just not going to be a nice time. Mega Sceptile's probably not going to be a nice time either. Against any Toad variant, you should be perfectly fine, because you're guaranteed to have a window of items. And hey, that's where Jet Draft comes in, and you just run through their energy, run through their Pokemon. Yeah. I think it's actually got better matchups than I initially thought it did. I think it's more consistent than I initially thought it would be. Not saying it's a top tier deck by any means, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on and worth trying out. It could be a nice little rogue pick. Anyway, I said I would mention a few things that this red card could be, and I'm going to get into that now. Wearing our trainers. Okay, so the first one, and the most obvious one, it's going to be Town Map. This makes a ton of sense in the deck because we rely on Double Colourless energy. It's an insta-play card. I really like... I would love to have a Town Map in here. I think if I was making space for it, the red card is what I would cut. So definitely, that's an option for you as well if you want. Another one, and one I did try myself. I wasn't a huge fan of it, and it's going to sound completely bonkers, but it's actually an Old Amber Aerodactyl. Oh, okay. There it is. Yeah, it's an Old Amber Aerodactyl. For much the same reason that it's an insta-play card. The reason I didn't like it is because the vast majority of the time this is not going to work. You are not going to find yourself an Aerodactyl with it. The big pro for playing it, though, is that if you do find an Aerodactyl, the payoff is fantastic, because it takes a lot of pressure on you needing the Archie away. Even just turn 1, being able to use Old Amber Aerodactyl, get an Aerodactyl on the board, slap a DCE on it, retreat with Hawlucha. You don't even have the Omastar in play, but you're all ready to go, and you can use the Archie next turn if you need to. That's fantastic. The issue is that basically never happens. Late game, you could argue Old Amber's better at finding things, but late game you should probably have a bunch of Aerodactyls out anyway. I tried it for a while, and I really wanted it to work, but it did not. So yeah, I think again, if you did want to try the red card is the slot where you cut, and I think that's the thing that I've been switching around the most. And yes, that took longer to load than I thought it would, but whatever. So yeah, that's the deck, guys, and I'm gonna hop into a game with it right away. Alright, we are playing against Uber Bear. That is a wacky looking deck you got there, Mr. Uber Bear. I can only hope that Psychic is a Hoopa, because I don't think you're running Shaymins. Again, I'm really bad at actually reading those like types in the bottom corner that tell you what your opponent's playing. I just never think of it like that in my head. So if I see like Psychic, I'm like, ooh, what's... yes, I would like to go first. Because like I remember the last video, that my opponent had Psychic in there, and I just did not cop that was Hoopa at all. I just don't think of it in that way. Holy dear God, that's an amazing hand. What? What a hand! Oh my Jesus. That is amazing. Look at this. We got double time puzzle back on. Oh, this is everything we want. Yes. Yes. This is it. Oh, safeguard card. No problem, man. No problem whatsoever. Oh. Ultra Ball Away, those two. Ultra Ball Away reserve ticket. Oh, I don't even want to. I want to Ultra Ball Away back on? No, I want to back on to clean up my deck, right? First of all, please don't tell me something horrible like both the Omastars are prized after giving me such an amazing hand like that. No, we got one. We got two. We got Archie. I can actually... It might make more sense for me to back away something I don't want. Something I want now, I mean. Oh, I could turn one red card this way. Oh, that's very tempting, and I might do it. That's very tempting, and I might do it. But yeah, we're gonna get rid of Archie. Now I can back on away red card, double time puzzle, ultra ball away these two, double time puzzle for red card and Archie, and there we go. I'd like to play reserve ticket and then Archie, because then I can guarantee myself to draw into either an Omastar Break or a DCE for my Aerodactyl. But nah, this is way cooler, okay? This is way cooler, especially since it seems like he's not running Shaymin. So we're gonna get rid of Xerosic. I won't be needing that. Not in the deck anyway. Getting rid of this, and we're gonna get rid of... Ooh, actually, you know what? I want to leave... No, I'm going to leave this in. Gonna get rid of Lysandre. And is there a Sycamore that I can get rid of? Because I'd like to get rid of a Sycamore. Or are both of my Sycamores prized? No, they're not. There's one here. Cool. Alright, yeah, cool. This is awesome. Alright, so now we're going to Ultra Ball away reserve ticket and Trainer's Mail. I think I'm going to get a Lucha with this. Yeah. I could have gotten an Unown for more cards off the RG, but what can you do? Don't misclick and click play one. Don't misclick. Yeah, there we go. That's the only way I lost this turn one, Archie. Gonna play two, and yes, we are absolutely going to get... Where is it? Where's my boy? There he is. Archie and red card. Look at this this is a gorgeous turn one. Oh my god. Yes, goodbye. Goodbye, fam. This is the nuts. I'm so happy with this turn 1. This is the nicest hand I could have seen. We didn't get any energy, we didn't get any cloggy cards at all. We just got everything we want. There's Archie for the Omastar. There's Restoring Beam. Hell yeah, this is a satisfying Archie. You know, normally you have to dig for quite a bit. It was just there. Do I want anything else here? I'd like a Float Stoner, an energy attachment at least. So I'm going to Trainer's Mail, then Acro Bike, because I think energy's more likely for me to hit. Well, it looks like we're going with Acro Bike. I would really like an energy here. To retreat the Shaymin, of course, I mean. Ooh, I guess I'll take Time Puzzle. I guess I could Ultra Ball for the other Shaymin if I wanted to keep digging, but I'm not that desperate to do it, or am I? I kind of am, to be honest. Well, Acro Bike. Yeah, there's our energy. Cool, cool. Take it, yep. That's all I wanted to hit. I'm not going to go crazy now. And we're going to pay retreat into Hawlucha. We can save the Ultra Ball this way for Omastar BREAK. Boom. That was one hell of a turn. That is as good as this gets. Let's see if you can do anything off my red card. You know, sometimes you can just put your opponent in a horrible position with turn 1 red card, but... Oh, cool, it's Rainbow Road! Oh, I like this deck. It's really weak to Hex Maniac, but we're not running that, so... At least my build was, because I had Bronzongs and Smirkles in it. What is this last card? Tell me it. Don't tell me it's Sycamore. It's not Sycamore! This is it. This is it, buds. And now we're going to Restoring Beam for another Aerodactyl. Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Ultra Ball away this. How much HP does this thing have? 120. I definitely want to get rid of that then. But not right now. So, you know, we can do that later. I think I'm going to take Unown because I don't need the break right now. And I would rather give myself a good chance of hitting this Double Colourless. Yeah, there's no harm single puzzling. Cool, we got back on. 2 VS Ziggers. So I'm going to farewell. Yeah, cool. And then we get the Battle Compressor before we Sycamore. I've got to hit it, right? I've got to hit this. I could actually Archie again if I really wanted to, but I'm not going to. Hawlucha is kind of a dead card at the moment. It feels funny to say that, but yeah. It is taking quite a while. We are pretty laggy tonight. How many DC have we got? Yeah, we ain't going to need Hawlucha in this matchup, right? Yeah, you'll back come away 3 Hawlucha, sure. I'm not going to need that guy. And VS Seeker for Sycamore and High Five. Yeah, I don't need to Archie a second time. I could if I wanted to, but yeah, there's no real point in that. And we do hit the Double Colourless. And we can free retreat into Aerodactyl. And we can just jet. I'm not going to bench that guy because I want to keep bench space. But I have Skyfield in hand, so I'm going to just do this anyway. I just don't want to get End or something next turn. But we're going to jet draft. There's no real harm to me benching the Unown. That's what I was kind of debating in my head. And look at this amazing position we're in. It sucks that we have 2 Aerodactyls in hand. I would like to find a way to get a maintenance out. But we got 2 Trainer's Mail for maintenance. That could work. And hey, our turn. They're just going to pass. VS Seeker would be fantastic right about here. So let's dig. Hey, there it is. Where are you now? There you are. VS Seeker. I don't really need to get these things into play right now, and they're not going to get knocked out, so I'm not under pressure for that. But hey, here's the play I was talking about. Seeker for 0. Off the Fury Belt. And we'll attach to this Aerodactyl. We've got another one in hand, if I really need to. Retreat the Omastar, but yes, there we go. 120, knocking out the Xerneas. Hey, maintenance, that's excellent! Look at this, we can maintenance both the Aerodactyls back in, and then Skyfield them out. Oh, this is great. Oh, he's got Ultra Ball. Oh, Ultra Ball with 2 VS Seekers, holy crap. This poor man. Now is when I want to hit the, now is definitely when I want to be hitting the Omastar break. We're going to see an Ultra Ball, though. I'm interested to see more of his deck. Look at how much this turn 1 red card hurt him. Red card's a great card. What was the first one he got rid of, actually? I should look at that. If it'll let me. It won't let me. We can look at it later. Anyway, he's going to set up, and this is great. Look, we have 4 prizes left. They're right there on the board. Excellent. Thank you. And we're going to see the Revenge for 90. That's fine. Ooh, Hex Maniac. That's very annoying. Hex Maniac does make this a little more annoying. But this is why we run the one. Oh, he's going to concede. I don't get to show off the Lysandre. That would have been nice. That was a good game, though. He didn't really ever get into the game, but I hope I showed how explosive Aerodactyl was. Alright, I decided to do another game after that because that was just too funny. That was an amazing game. I felt like on a high after that. So it looks like we're playing against frogs, so I should just like leave right now, to be honest. What I do, red card Donk Froakie. Okay, that's what we do. That's how we win this. Watch as exactly what I have just described happens. Or I get the worst hand I've ever seen and don't Archie. Oh no, okay. I would have liked that hand actually. I could have pulled off an Archie with that hand, to be honest. I would have needed to find something cool off the trainer's mail like maintenance or Ultra Ball, but whatever, I could have done that. Running the fire sleeves, dude, I know you're playing Greninja. I know it's Greninja, man. Alright, red card. Red card Jet Draft. This is how we do it. This is the only way we can do it. That's a good hand. Yep, that's a good hand. I like that. I need to find a Battle Compressor, but it's a good hand. Alright. This could still be Frogs, and he's just running like a tech for Trevenant. I can't discard the special energy off it, so that's something. Maybe it is just a tech for Trevenant. Alright. Watch this shit. Watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna reserve ticker for Battle Compressor, Acro Bike into the Battle Compressor, and work from there, yeah? Yeah, check this out. Yeah, see, there we go. There we go. There's our Archie. Alright. Oh, I could get the... Because now... now I'm thinking I don't win if I don't take the red card. So do I just play reserve ticket, get red card? Then try and trainer's mail my way into it? No, I don't think I do. No, I can't risk that. I can't risk that. I have to take Battle Compressor. Unfortunately, as cool and all as that would be, and then Acro Bike. Oh, well, thanks. That's convenient. I mean, I was going to get rid of it anyway, but, you know, sure. That saves me the bother. Yes. Now, we Battle Compressor away. Omastar. Omastar's gone. Cool. If I had Time Puzzle in my hand, I would have played Trainer's Mail first, trying to get double Time Puzzle, and then trying to use the back column to get rid of the red card that way, but, yeah, see, there it is. It's not prized or anything. Omastar. And I think it's Sycamore. Yeah, I think that's what we get rid of here. Sycamore is nice to get rid of early turn, because you know you're going to need it after you Archie, so it's nice to have some way to access it. Then, unfortunately, I think we're going to have to discard Floatstone, but what can you do? Because I'm going to get Shaymin here and just drop the Double Colourless straight onto that. So that I have some way of protecting it. Where is my boy? Like, I'm not even going to draw with the Shaymin. Yeah. Watch as I click yes out of force of habit here. See? Paid attention. Attach Double Colourless. And VS Seeker. For the Arch. For the Omastar. Well, at least we got it going turn one, you know. Hopefully it's not frogs, and I've just been completely mislaid by this Suicune thing. Reserve ticket, red card, reserve ticket, red card! Yes! Reserve ticket, red card! This is it, this is how we do it! It's like the only way we have to do it, but we can do it. Done. Alright. It does kind of... What I actually should have done is Ultra Ball for Unown and then gotten into it that way. I was too excited, I missed the good plays, because now we have the Trainer's Mail into the red card instead of getting something actually useful for drawing for the turn. But, here we go, right. Trainer's Mail, red card, yes, this is how we do it. This is how we win. So, red card, boy. Get rid of all that definitely not fire stuff. Okay, now restoring beam. See how good reserve ticket is? All you have to do is flip heads, it's great. I probably should have done that before I played any of the other cards. It's the first thing you should do, but whatever. And yeah, I think we enter in there. Yeah, I don't want to play the Ultra Ball. Enter in there. Whew. Hopefully this guy draws as badly off the red card as the last one did. And now you see why I like the red card over the town map. Okay. I don't think I can take the knockout this turn anyway because I lost my float stone. He's going to dive ball. It's, okay, we lose. There you go, we lose. It's, oh my god. Oh my god. It's not frogs. That's for sure. It's definitely not frogs. He's got nothing. What else is this man got? Is he just going to get the Mega? No, he's got the Manaphy. It's like he tried to make Water Box. Or he's just playing Mega Gyarados. Oh my god, we can pull this off. Yes, and we get loads of time to do this now. Restoring Beam. Before I do anything else. Yes, we get loads of time to get our Aerodactyls in play. This is excellent. This is excellent. This is what we want. Oh, I'm so happy with how this went. I might hold this in case he gets a Spirit Link. I was thinking about Ultra Balling away for what you call that guy, Omastar BREAK. But I have no real need to do this. Instead, I can free retreat into Shaymin. And, well, farewell letter. Yeah, I'll farewell letter. Sure, why not? Might get us the break just from that. Ooh, we maintenance? Nah, I don't need maintenance. Not anymore. Sky Return for 30. Mostly just doing this to get the Shaymin back. I probably could have Ultra Balled for Hawlucha there and gone into that instead, but whatever. It doesn't look like I'm going to be under much of a threat. Unless he's got like max elixirs and energy switch. Okay, so energy just goes on to Gyarados, and it looks like he's going to use that Stormy Seas attack. And it's just, oh dear, that's not very nice at all. Yeah. So cool, there's the Double Colourless on the Aerodactyl. Watch this space for the maintenance. Hell yeah. Check that out. Check this out. Oh, come on. Oh, man. Maintenance, why are you so useless? God damn it, maintenance. Okay, well, 3 Aerodactyls still kind of cool. Again, I kind of want to hold this hand. I think I might Shaymin. Yeah, I'm going to Shaymin just so I have stuff to Ultra Ball for the break. So, yeah. Oh, maintenance. See what I mean about the draw 1 effect actually being really bad? I could Lysandre this weekend. There's no point in me doing that, though. Yeah. I'm going to Ultra Ball away this Aerodactyl so I can Super Rod it in next turn. And Battle Compressor ain't actually getting me much. So yeah, we're going to break. I don't think it's worth getting the Unown for draw power. I know it looks like our deck isn't drawing very well, but we're going to start taking knockouts now. And given that his hand is so terrible, I don't think he's going to have much. I think I might want to take the Manaphy knockout right now, though. I know that seems weird, but that way I get 2 prizes straight away, and I have a better chance of drawing well next turn. So yeah, we're going to Jet Draft for the knockout. Shaymin isn't the only thing we can kill. I'm going to hold this here in case of Spirit Links and Fury Belts. So yeah. And our next 2 is Sycamore, Unown, perfect. And next turn I can Super Rod the Aerodactyl back in and use Restoring Beam and get all 4 of them into play. So that's fantastic. Not the most competitive of decks that we faced, but it's still showing off our deck well and like what it's kind of capable of. Oh dear, this poor man. Yo, turn 1 red card is just the best thing you can do. Holy crap, turn 1 red card is great. So first of all, we're just going to Super Red. I do want all 4 of these guys. I should have Unknown first, but I'm probably not even going to play that Unknown. And we'll get back this, and we'll get back this. This is why Super Rod is actually better than Sacred Ash, because otherwise we'd have to put the Unknown, the Omastar back in. We wouldn't get the fighting energy back, and we obviously don't want either of those things. Yeah, we're going to Restoring Beam. I know it seems really weird that I'm doing it like this, but you honestly want your hand to have, like, you want to play it safe as possible because it's so difficult to get the Aerodactyls out. So yeah, we're just going to Jet Draft for 120. And if he goes to the bench, that's cool. I can just use Omastar or Lysandre to bring him back up. I've got so many options. He looks like he doesn't have very many options at all. Turn 1 red card. Oh, Max Elixir. I'm really not worried about this Suicune attacking me whatsoever. Oh no, we're gonna get splash burned. What does that even do? It does 10 to his bench Pokemon? Okay. That's fine by me. It does mean we need to hit DCE, but sure, whatever. I was gonna laugh if that was a DCE. I'm actually going to keep the Hawluchas and the fighting energies back now because I think that's super important because we can use that to take the knockout. No, I'm not going to get rid of Target Whistle just yet. I think I'm going to get rid of Back Home. That's for sure. I'll get rid of Maintenance. God, Burn in Hell Maintenance. And that all. I definitely want to get rid of things because I want to maximize my odds. So I don't want to get rid of any of those. Tempted to get rid of an Acro Bike. I think given that I still have Double Time Puzzle, I can get rid of the Target Whistle here. Yeah, I think it's more important that I not get the Gyarados this turn. In fact, it's so important that I'm willing to do that. So yeah, we're going to drop the Unown. Now I could Lysandre something up, we could Xerosic. I don't want to do either of those things. We are just going to Sycamore. Hey, what do you know? Okay, I think because it's so important to actually preserve your DCEs and your Aerodactyls that this is where the Hawlucha play can come in. So yeah, we'll just discard that guy. We can go into Hawlucha. Attach the energy. Free retreat. And also I just get to show off the stuff this deck can do. So yeah, and there we go. Flying Press. For the knockout. How satisfying was that? You know, even though these haven't been the most competitive games, I still feel like I'm showing off what the deck is supposed to do. So that's nice, because this is a lot easier to commit to. Oh, he's got that tier no, boys. No, this is a lot easier to commit to than just jet drafting over and over again. That's why the tier. That's why the not why the tier no's nice. That's why the Lucha is nice. So yeah, fair play to him sticking it out anyway. A lot of the games I've played tonight have just been I get turn 1 Archie and then my opponent concedes. You know, Omastar can be beaten, guys. It's not the best deck at all, but no, I think it's actually got some really cool matchups, like I mentioned a little earlier. Okay, I am really going to want to hit Target Whistle for game next turn. Yeah, it's got some cool matchups, like I mentioned. And it can just be, like, as difficult and all as it should be, the Aerodactyl. Things like turn 1 red card to slow down your opponent even helps doing that, so yeah, I really like the deck. I think in terms of working on the list, I think it's so important to get the Archie that I'm not sure how I could deviate from this, but maybe there's a different aspect to it that I'm not looking at. Let's see. I am all about... I think there's still a Shaymin prize or something, but I am all about this... This Target Whistle play right here. Okay. Given that there's 4 left in my deck, right? Yeah, probably should have Shaymin. Yeah, Sycamore probably be better there. To be fair, because if I get it here, yeah. Let's see, 4, 7. I'm gonna play Trainer's Mail. I'm actually gonna take VS Seeker. Yeah, I think at this point I'm gonna Sycamore and get things that aren't Time Puzzle out of my deck, so then I can Sycamore and give myself the best odds of hitting all of them. So we'll just take Skyfield. Play it. And we got the DC on the Aerodactyl, cool, so I'm gonna play VS Seeker for Sycamore. And with 9 cards in deck, it's literally impossible that I don't hit double Time Puzzle now, and that was what I was going for. So yeah, there it is. There's it's all 4 of them. So I'm just gonna play double Time Puzzle. Play 2. Sure, it takes Xerosic, why not? Where is my target whistle? Super laggy tonight, I'm not sure why. Yeah, we'll take target whistle and Ultra Ball, because why the hell not? Target whistle. Manaphy. And here you see how good this deck is at killing things like Manaphy and Shaymin, because we're going to Dangerous Tentacle that thing into the active spot and just win the game right here. So yeah, it's insane what you can pull off with this thing at times. And I know this isn't a proper Acro Box deck by any means, but that's kind of how your Acro Box matchup goes anyway. So yeah, that's an easy victory for us. I showed off a bunch of different aspects of the deck. I'm really happy with that, even though the games weren't super competitive. So anyway, listen guys, I really hope you enjoyed watching this, and I hope you give Aerodactyl and Omastar a shot for yourself. If you have, tell me what you've put in your lists. Please tell me, as I'm very curious to see other people's take on it. This is my really straightforward, super explosive idea, but I'm sure there's definitely other takes that you could make for it. Anyway guys, that has been the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.